Hello, everyone. There's a time on the journey where we need to let go of all of the ideas and the answers and our concepts about what it looks like. It's a very necessary experience, and it's an archetypal experience that we can say is that phase where we're moving through the dark. And everything that we've known about the journey and where we're going, even what we were promised, the angels that show up in front of us and say, this will happen, you are going here. There comes a point where that's actually useless. Maybe for a moment it was helpful, gives us some faith and motivates us to walk on our path. But there comes a point where we have to be completely present for right here, right now. And during that time, we might be totally befuddled. All of our answers, all of our convictions, our ideas about what it is, where it's going, where we're going to end up, in a sense, need to be dissolved. This can be an experience of losing faith or feeling totally confused, because necessarily so, we are asked and we are being guided and taught to depend only on the moment, not to be living according to a certainty of what's going to happen, how it's going to look, where it's going to go. There's a dream that I had, and I've often shared this dream some years ago, where I was on a mountain with this woman, and she says, "Can you see the river?" And I'm looking out over a lot of haze and mountaintops and a lot of scenery, and I couldn't see the river, but I can see the ocean all the way, the ocean down there. And she says, "Yeah, but can you see the river?" And I say, "I can see the ocean." And she repeats, "But can you see the river?" And this went on for a time. And I just found so much meaning from that dream. The river being the windy path. You really don't know what's going to happen on each turn. Being on the river path is actually a lot of surrender. You have to trust the contours and the turns, and sometimes the flow might be easy, sometimes it might feel challenging. Yeah, we can have this knowing that the ocean's the destination, but that becomes sort of useless when it comes to where we are, the present moment right now. And sometimes the journey and how it manifests for us can show up in a way where we are doubting everything we've ever believed. This can become a pivot for just losing faith, giving up. And yet these are the moments where really the only thing that we can draw upon, the only thing we can truly fall back upon, are our principles, our commitments, our devotion. Like, what's certain in our hearts about right now? What's the core of our commitment, of our devotion, that we can always fall back upon, no matter what's happening, no matter what's working out or what's not working out?
He's not very friendly, so...
He's not friendly?
No.
Well, luckily we are, but I'll make sure she stays with me.
That's what I'm worried about. Thank you.
And I find there's a great purification that can happen in these places where we commit ourselves to be more of the person we want to be now, to do the work on ourselves. And there's that teaching, ego says, change these conditions and I'll find peace. And then spirit says, find peace now. There's that teaching from Jesus, seek the kingdom of heaven first, and then all else shall be given to you. To live in the unconditioned trust. And for things not to be clear, to be in that archetypal you're in the middle of the forest and you no longer know where you're going and you doubt everything you've ever been told. Like, maybe it's not going to work out this way. Maybe, all these particular visions, maybe those are just visions and maybe it's not literal. But you don't know. We don't know. There's nothing that we know for certain except for this present moment. And we can have a faith in an ultimate goodness. That's the ocean. The ultimate truth, the ultimate destination, where we're really going. And that's a good faith. And we can have a faith within that of the ultimate knowing that my well-being, your well-being is inseparable. That peace is possible. There's a way to live here in love. We can have this faith in these principles of truth, but there's a need to let go of the form, the way, the how. What is this gonna look like? How is this gonna happen? That allows us to really do our work in the moment. Yeah, I mean, so astrologically, this is very alive with this eclipse window. Again, that this eclipse window is squared by Jupiter. Jupiter is starting to slow down to station soon in Pisces, squaring the nodal axis. So it really brings that up. And wherever we have Jupiter, it's really about the principles of truth. These are our guiding principles, our underlying outlook and orientation to life. And what Jupiter and Pisces is teaching us is to become aware of where our guiding principles are conditional, right? Like where our commitment to peace, to truth, to really living honestly and authentically becomes interrupted with the conditions that we're placing on life. The particular ways that we're expecting life to go, to give us that permission to really be at peace. So as always, the teaching is we are where we need to be. And the optimistic attitude with Jupiter is this is for healing. The best outcome, all that we deeply and truly want is the result of this, but not maybe in our control, not in the ways that we think, not in the ways that we're trying to make it happen, in the order, in the timeline, the ways that we are controlling life, ourselves, other people, time. To have this deep faith, and that allows us to be in the discomfort. Jupiter says, let go to receive. So to let go of our beliefs, our strong convictions, it makes us available for the journey, for the moment. And it's almost like the great spirit of oneness is almost like waiting for us to just accept its plan. So when we come into that relaxation and that peace, it's almost like we invite this intelligence to actually guide us. Like, oh, finally, okay, I can help you now. Because that's all that life is wanting to do. Oh, do you see? Bug just flew in my ear. It's wanting to whisper in our ear. It's wanting to guide us and tell us clearly, show us clearly. There's nothing in the way of our guidance and this deep feeling of being held and cared for in life. According to the ultimately, underlyingly optimistic and good for all path of the oneness. There's nothing in the way of that when we are not in resistance to allowing and willing to trust, which means also willing and necessarily needing to face everything that's inside that needs to be felt and experienced. You know, trust and surrender always coincides with facing our resistance, facing what's inside, what we don't want to look at, what we're holding on to. Not facing resistance means holding on to it and perpetuating it, which basically is it's an argument with life. It's an argument with what is. And what is always wins. Byron Katie, only 100% of the time. So I'll share a little song that I feel resonates very much with the theme of this energy right now. Also, mind you, I mean, we're in this Mercury retrograde shadow ruling this north node as the opposite, the south node ruler squaring the node. So this is a particular time, I feel, over this next eclipse window and just the next few weeks or so. A lot of healing, a lot of new insight, realization, and clarity, and it's uncomfortable, I feel, archetypally. But there's deep healing, there's deep beauty in it, deep. We're gonna sing a little bit. Many pass through the forest, but I've only 2 feet. I walk on is the path that I live. So guide my feet to walk with you, to walk with love. Guide my feet to walk with you, to walk with love. Many options to choose from, points of views, pros and cons. But your love is eternal, and your guidance is now. So guide my feet to walk with you, to walk with love. Guide my feet to walk with you, to walk with love. Always something to worry, seeking answers in the mind. Run around in a hurry, leave this moment behind. Oh, I notice the answers in the center of my heart. In this moment, so the healing may start. So guide my feet to walk with you, to walk with love. Guide my feet to walk with you, to walk with love. Guide my feet to walk with you, to walk with love. Guide my feet to walk with you, to walk with love, to walk with love, to walk with love, to walk with love.